OSRS Rambles, as well as all of our podcast content, is brought to you by our Patreon supporters. So I want to thank you for providing us with support to continue doing the show. OSRS Rambles is a format where we bring on different guests within the old school RuneScape community and talk about some of the stuff they do as well as the game itself. When we look at old school RuneScape content creators, we can see people completing some pretty ridiculous grinds, achieving some insane goals. My guest this week is someone who knows the old school RuneScape game engine so well and is able to manipulate some of the mechanics, which has allowed him to achieve some of the, if not the most ridiculous accomplishments and world records in the game itself. He is a YouTuber with over 50,000 subscribers, the creator of the series Potato Only Hardcore Iron Man and Lower the Better, where he sets records for being the lowest combat level to complete different achievements. Some of the records that he holds are killing King Black Dragon and the Corporeal Beast on a level 3 combat account, completing Barbarian Assault with a team of level 3s, being the lowest combat level to obtain the Barrows Gloves, and, of course, completing the Fire Cape on a level 18 account. He was nominated for 2019's Golden Gnome Award for Video of the Year with his 18 Combat Fire Cape video, as well as being nominated for Best Old School RuneScape Video Maker of the Year. I had an absolute amazing time talking with him this episode, but I will say the conversation may feel like it's all over the place with some of my questions, but let's chalk that up to being a little nervous before sitting down and recording this. So without further ado, I welcome our guest for this episode, Rendi Mento. Here we are with another RuneScape Ramblin'. Joining with me today is Mr. Rendi Mento. You might know him as Rendi from YouTube, as the Potato Only Hardcore Iron Man series, and more recently, the Lower the Better series. And you have accomplished a lot of crazy accomplishments, to say the least.
Yeah, I mean, crazy is a good word for it because it doesn't make sense to most people playing the game, what I do, so...
Yeah, a lot of people don't even like, for instance, you were nominated for the Golden Gnomes with your lowest Fire Cape achievement, like lowest combat level, and a lot of people might not be aware that there's actually like a high score of some sorts.
Yeah, I've been doing like lowest combat Fire Capes probably longer than anything, but lately, yeah, I've switched into like even more obscure things. Like one of my videos was like lowest level salve amulet and just very weird things.
Which is really cool because someone like me, I'm just watching it. I'm like, okay, let's see how low of an account you can actually go. But then I start to learn about all these barriers that Jagex puts in of like other NPCs attacking you and stuff that most accounts aren't going to encounter.
Right, yeah, and it's like actually like no accounts are going to encounter because like no one does this really weird obscure stuff, you know, except for just a very few people in the game. So I thought it would be a good idea to include all that and share it in videos, and it's just like not common knowledge, you know.
It's really mind-blowing. So when you're going into like picking an achievement, well, first off, how do you pick these achievements? I know some of them are recommended from some viewers. Do you have like a list of like a bucket list of achievements that you want to knock through?
I would say like 50% of them are probably just suggestions in the comments, and the other 50% are just like things that me or like my like close RuneScape friend group kind of just like theorize over the last few months or something like that. But also then again, like I'll run into like accomplishments and I'll try and do something and I'll get like 50 hours into a task and realize it's not possible.
Oh man, that sucks.
Yeah, I just have to scrap the entire idea and do something differently.
God, yeah, because you put like weeks into some of these. I would say most of them.
Yeah, I mean, that's why my upload frequency is probably like once every 2 weeks right now, because it takes a lot of time just to get like one video out and find one idea that actually works.
And you can see that with your the Fire Cape video, which if you haven't seen it, you gotta go check it out, because having you've made multiple accounts just in case one account fails, and then just how long did you spend in the actual fight caves?
It was close, just like the actual fight caves without the account preparation time. Like I would say it was close to 100 hours.
Yeah, so it's crazy, and then you got to also account for the whole editing process, which is kind of behind closed doors, right?
Right. Yeah, but also, I mean, I think I failed one of those accounts in like wave 39. So if I went straight in and did like wave 1 to 63 successfully first try, it'd probably be like 80 hours, I think, not quite 100, but yeah, that's how it went down.
It's still quite. That's a pretty crazy accomplishment for anyone. Even like the fire cape is so iconic that doing it normally on like a main account, like that's a huge moment for any RuneScaper.
I remember when I was just a kid and like my friend from middle school was over and I was doing like Jad for the first time and like my mom came in my room and he's like, don't talk to him, he's doing Jad. He was like hiding behind my bed kind of thing. You know, it's like so it's like scary of a thought. Like even for some people like getting back in the game now, like after so many years, they still have like nightmares from like whenever they tried Jad for the first time.
Oh yeah, people, it's you still see them on the front page of the subreddit where somebody gets their first fire cape. And people are still...
Oh, yeah, all the time.
Yeah.
I think there was a meme about that recently. It was like everyone who's gotten their fire cape in the subreddit, they always get like 100 upvotes no matter what it is.
Yeah, it's some easy karma if you're into that.
Yeah.
And it's a different experience watching someone attempting it for their first time, especially versus, you know, you doing it on such a low combat level. That wasn't your first time at getting the record. I was looking at your YouTube videos and going back all the way to 2014. You had got the record on a level 34.
Yeah, I actually had it pre-EOC even like 2010, 2011. And I think that was beaten. I only had it for like a few months and it was beaten in like pre-EOC era. But after that, yeah, it was like 2014. I did 34 combat, and like 2015, 33, 31, 30, 25. But, you know, all of those records that I was doing, like, didn't even compare to the amount of time and, like, challenge that the last, you know, the 18 combat one was. It was like my 25 combat one, which is the prior record to this, was like maybe a 10-hour cave, and then this is like an 80-hour cave. So it's like a whole other level.
Yeah. I guess backing things up though, how did you get into old school RuneScape? Not old school RuneScape, but RuneScape in general.
Jeez, I would have to think back, but I mean, like, I think it was like just real life friends. Like, I was literally like probably 10, so yeah, I was like in elementary school. But like all of my real life friends started to play it because it's like obviously like a free desktop game, and you could use your parents' computer and get away with playing this really low memory usage game. But yeah, that's probably the main reason.
Is this a game you continue playing throughout the years?
Yeah, and I feel like that's like most people's cases, or they you know, they'll take a break, but they'll always return back to it.
Yeah, no one ever escapes the game forever.
Right.
Because I quit back in 2007, and I thought like, okay, we're done. They took out the wilderness, and I'm never playing this game again. But then, you know, lo and behold, 2013, old school RuneScape comes back out. Oh my gosh,
yeah,
here we go.
2007.
Yeah. So you've been big into RuneScape. Do you play other games as well, or is it strictly a RuneScape?
Not lately. I haven't had much time to play other games, but I mean, I would casually play like some of the like really hit games like on Xbox, like like GTA 5, Elder Scrolls, all that stuff, but like nothing really competitively or like seriously.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess I'm in the same boat where a new game will come out, and not even a new game. I just got what is it? Horizon Zero Dawn. That came out in like 2016, but picked it up a few weeks ago, and I played it for a solid week and really enjoyed it. But then next thing you know, I'm like, well, back to RuneScape grinds, and haven't touched it since.
It's always like that for me too.
So, do you have a main account that you're constantly playing?
Honestly, no. I have like just a bunch of low-level weird accounts, and it's kind of bad because like I was trying to remember a login earlier, like actually yesterday, and it took me 2 hours to find it through like, I remember I sent like part of it to like Chessbra, of course, you know.
Of course.
And I was like, I had to control F through our Discord chat to find just the username of the login, and it just took me like 2 hours to even find it. But yeah, there's too many accounts to go through even now, but none of them are high levels or anything like that.
So you're like strictly playing these weird little niche accounts that you've been able to tackle some of these achievements on.
Right, and most of them I'll just like, after I get the achievement, I'll just never log back into it, or maybe somewhere down the line, like say I have the like low level Song of the Elves account, maybe I'll like try and find the details back to that to hop on and do Gauntlet someday, or something like that. But eventually I hop back on them, but it's like way down the line, so it's hard to remember exactly what accounts what.
Yeah, that's fair, unless you have a huge, I don't know, notebook full of all these username and passwords and exactly what you've done on them, right?
Yeah, and I do, but even then, like, it's missing a lot of the details that I was looking for. So
it's a crazy way to play the game. Most people have their like main account, which is where they try to tie their achievements to, whereas I guess you have it spread across tons of different accounts.
And if I ever like need to use a main, I got Chess Bros main, so
hell yeah,
just hop on that.
Sick. Since you don't have like a main account per se, when these new, actually I should say, have you always been playing on these smaller accounts and doing these achievements? Like, is it just recently you've been recording them and turning them into videos?
Yeah, actually, for the most part, like, I think I had a main at one point that was like a Zerker, and it was like not even a good main. It's probably like 100 combat or something like that, and that was like 4 years ago. And that's the last time I've had an actually like decently high leveled account. So,
oh wow!
And I just started uploading like frequently 8 months ago. So yeah, it's been this same pattern for a while.
Did you start like being serious with YouTube when it came? Because like, you've been doing YouTube for a while now, but I know it seems like recently, like you're really more committed as a full-time YouTuber. If that's explaining it properly. Right. Did that start with Hardcore Iron Man, or the potato only Hardcore Iron Man?
Yeah, I took it a lot more seriously when I started doing that in, I think, February. Before that, I was doing like 2 or 3 uploads in an entire year. So
oh wow,
it was never anything serious. I always used to do PK videos, like even
that's right,
in pre-EOC. But yeah, my YouTube channel was actually from 2006, so it's literally like one of the oldest RuneScape channels. And I used to have content from then too, but I had to take it down because of back then you could get copyright strike for anything. And,
oh yeah,
yeah,
the good old days, right?
mm-hmm. I actually had a looting video in 2006, and it got copyright taken down by Jagex themselves because they used to actually not approve of people posting their game
wow,
like on YouTube. That's 'cause it was like the first year of YouTube. So yeah, they literally didn't have a clue. But
damn, Jagex, yeah. Going hard. You don't do much PvP anymore, do you?
No, I actually like despise PvP right now.
Oh yeah, what happened?
It just got like I probably about 3 or 4 years ago, I just got really bored of it. And honestly, it was just all the same thing over and over again. And I didn't really enjoy like the community in that area either. They were just kind of like pretty toxic when it came to like going in the wilderness and just like trying to find a fight. They would just like, yeah, you have the casual like sit and, like all that stuff. But like it went even deeper than that. Like, like death threats and all, like it's crazy to think that like people like do that over RuneScape, but there's some really toxic people out there. I don't know.
Yeah. I want to say I used to be a PKer back in the like 10 years ago. Actually more than that, but I just like to go in the wilderness, and luckily everybody sucked back then that you could usually find someone that was worse than you were. But nowadays you go out there, everyone seems to just kick my ass.
That's why I loved it too. That's probably another reason I don't even go out there anymore, because back then you would just find the worst people. And what's ironic actually is back then I was known for making really weird PKing builds.
Okay.
Even like 2009, 2010, I made like something called a corrupt turmoil peer, which was like the first of its kind. It had like the lowest possible attack and defense after turmoil quest, and it basically would just use like full corrupt vest and whatnot. But so even though I strayed away from PKing, I still kept the idea that like of making unique account builds, even though they're just like maybe for show now versus before they were actually had like a PvP use to them. But
yeah, that's the beauty of RuneScape. It seems like there's hundreds of different weird, obscure account builds you could do.
Probably thousands nowadays, but
yeah, everyone's got some weird build. Yeah. All right, so you used to PvP, but you've since then moved away. And I guess with like RuneFest coming out, there was this RuneFest was kind of weak. They didn't really have too much to talk about for the upcoming year. But when they announced something like the the Nightmare of Ashara or something like that, is this something that you not instantly think, but do you plan like to keep your eye on it to be the lowest combat to achieve it?
To be honest, I haven't even looked at that. But like the only thing I had really like thought about was Group Iron Man, and even looked at was Group Iron Man. But like other than that, I'm pretty bad when it comes to updates and announcements. But anyways, yeah, like whenever something does cross my line of view that could be done at the lowest combat possible, like Song of the Elves update, for example, I definitely, think to myself, oh, that'd be good content. I can do that, and on release and get the lowest level and blah blah blah, get some views off of it. But yeah, I mean, if it's possible, like, I just have to look into it further, probably.
And I guess it makes sense because like a lot of this content has been around for so long, which is kind of what's interesting when watching your videos is you can exploit certain old mechanics, I guess.
Right.
And just really break the game.
Yeah, I mainly have always focused on like dead content because that's where a lot of it's most broken. But in recent times, and you'll see on my next video, there's a lot of newer content that's coming out now that has been properly QA tested or put into place. And ironically, it's not the newest content, but it's like the middle ground content that's came out in the last 4 years that's the best developed. But as of now, the newer content and the oldest content is what usually seems to have some like weird errors to it that you can exploit and whatnot.
Do you have any thoughts why that might be? Is Jagged just shit in the bed on us?
I don't know. I think it has something to do with the QA testers, honestly, because if you haven't noticed, there have been all these like rushed updates and all these terrible things that have happened in recent updates with QA testing, like the twisted bow just being on the ground in a spot, for example. More recently, like they got last man standing. People just had like 99 stat boosts. For a few hours after it came out. You had dead man servers rolling out in the server update and people dying. It's just like the list goes on in the last year. I don't know what it is. It's literally been just the last year too. Like before that, it was pretty good. But
yeah, I guess so. Yeah, it was a bad couple years for some bugs popping out.
Yeah, and the max cash on death, like there's so many. It's crazy. But
I remember I was at work reading about the twisted bow just spawning. You're just like, oh, there's probably some meme. But then no, yeah, people are camping the twisted bow spawn.
And what was crazy about that to me is they originally weren't going to roll back servers from that. They waited 3 hours to roll back servers, and they were saying they were going to individually try and find the accounts that used Twisted Bow. Well, like, what if you sold the Twisted Bow? It would have been sold 3 or 4 times. Like the whole market would have been just like shot. I feel like if they didn't roll back the whole servers, but
it's just a couple $100 in someone's pocket. Yeah, that's God damn it. It's almost a joke. But yes, even the dead man. You mentioned the dead man mode bug, where they like rotated worlds or something, but they accidentally left the rules on a normal, like the dead man mode rules on a normal world.
It made me so mad because I was in that world. That was like my home world at the time. It was like 351, I think, is what it was, and I was in that, or maybe it was 347. It was one of the two. I was in that world at the time of the update because my sleep schedule was just screwed, and I'm always on for the updates. And I was on my level 25 even. And if I had seen that, like I wasn't paying attention. I was just like testing something. But if I had seen that in like the 3 minutes it was out, I could have just had some alt account just come kill me like 3 or 4 times, reset my stats down. I would have been 3 combo with like a fire K basis kind of thing.
Sick. Look at this new record.
Yeah. Exactly. But
unfortunately, no video to go along with it.
Yeah, that's the whole video. Yeah, I just killed myself 3 times.
I guess that's crazy. Are you ever worried that like worried of getting like banned or Jagex targeting you over some weird bug exploit?
Yeah, but I mean, like nothing I do is like that crazy. Like I don't dupe money. Like I feel like bug abuse in terms of what deserves a ban should be like anything that ruins the economy, or I mean, like most of the things I do are just so niche and like have almost no practical use, and they're just like for my videos solely, that I feel like that it's kind of just gotten the pass because of that. And not to mention some of the things I do in my videos, the bugs I mention in my videos, they can be applied to a lot like worst case scenarios. Recently I had a guy literally threaten me on my last video. He was telling me that I mentioned the server updates being able to roll back quests from stats in my Barrows Glows video. And
Oh.
the same thing applied to like if you were to trade someone, it would roll back and there's like a dupe method with it. And I literally had
Hmm.
this guy threaten me. He's like, "I'll get your channel like banned if you get my dupe method patch." Blah, blah. So it's like I'm doing them. I feel like I'm doing them a favor by them like being able to see the light of some of like these issues in a very minuscule way of making some obscure account where they can actually mitigate like more insane bugs that ruin the entire economy, such as a dupe bug or like
Yeah.
something like that, you know?
That's true. I guess that's one of the perks of not having a main account too. Because like, well, if we ban him, he's just gonna make a new account and fuck around some more.
Right. And it was just the whole account was just for a video, so it's like after that it doesn't even matter. It's just like
Yeah.
that's the point of the account. So
Just make another video on it being banned. Sweet. Double up.
yeah.
So with these achievements, let's go back to the achievements. With some of these achievements you've been doing, is there any that like that stand out to you specifically? Because of course, like the big one is like the fire cape, but is there one that's like was super tough for you that other people might not recognize?
I think one of the most underrated videos I have and achievements I have is I'd say the Mortania video.
Is
It's only
that
got
the
like
salve amulet?
yeah, the salve amulet. It's only got like 90 something thousand views on I think to this day, but that one was that's probably like that was my favorite video to make and that was the craziest one to make because I literally like to that haunted mine boss I had to
Mhm.
kill in that video was like so insanely difficult that I'm surprised they even like found a way around it. I was literally cabbage cape emoting in front of a mine cart to stop the mine cart from hitting me and then moving and coordinating my moves and what I even found was like you poison the boss but it's not really poison but if you get that 1 in
Right.
4 chance of poison like it doesn't attack you often. That was like the craziest find I think I probably ever had to be honest with bosses, so I
So
don't know.
doing these achievements, you discover a lot of these I don't know, these weird bugs. Is that what you would call them?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I don't know. It's just like really outdated content. So yeah, it's pretty much bugs. But it's weird. Like I found that I find a lot of these on accident, and I don't even like mean to find them because I'm just like testing and doing every possible thing I can if I can't figure something out, and then I realize, oh wait, this thing is attacking me at 10% of the speed it was before, and I don't even know why. So I'll spend the next 12 hours trying to figure out why is it attacking me at 10% of the speed and just weird things like that. But
Yeah, it really is weird because I mean that amulet, yeah, breaking Mauritania. Yeah, the
yeah.
one that came right after the fire cape. So that one stood out to me as well because I was watching it, and half the time I was like, "What the fuck?" Like, because things would happen. You're just like, "What? What? Is he playing the same game? Is he playing Moparscape right now? What's going on?"
Yeah, like most of the stuff you'd never see like in like anyone's normal gameplay. But and it wasn't
That's
like insanely difficult, but the fact that like I was able to find that many things in one video, there was probably like 10 different things that were like so obscure that's why I enjoyed making that video a lot. I know that I found out about those NPCs, that would kick you out and whatnot. I
Mhm.
actually found out about them before I even got into Mauritania. There was some old videos from like 2013 and '07's release. People were able to get into Mauritania for like a week or so, and
Hmm.
it was B-Boy Owns, but he like gave some advice on how to get past those NPCs. And a lot of the time, what I find or like what I search for, I'll use the YouTube filters and I'll look up like RuneScape bug, RuneScape glitch from the last month, and sometimes it'll be like some unintended glitch that someone will post and try to get Jagex's attention to fix it, and they don't know what's going on. And then I'll look into it. And I'm like, okay, well this happened because of that, and I can actually use this kind of thing. So I just like, will go into these 20 view videos and try and like repeat what they've done, kind of thing.
That's sweet. So you almost like reverse engineer the game engine.
I guess it takes hours to figure out what causes what, but yeah, basically that's it.
How did you fall into this whole bug detective work?
It was all in fire capes, man. Like I was always trying to figure out the lowest way to get a certain fire cape. And eventually, like I don't know, it's like I would get into a loophole of like, okay, can I find this and that? Like, what can I do with this and that to get a lower level fire cape? And eventually, it spread out to like so many different opportunities because I would find so many different things.
Yeah, and there must be some sort of community of just bug bug hunters. I don't know what you would call it.
Yeah, bug abusers is what you'd call it. But yeah, there's a few out there, and it's pretty dead now, though, to be honest. Like, if you look at RS3 right now, that game is full of like terrifying bugs. Like, I think there's like someone was telling me the other day there's like a live dupe going on in the game right now, and just
Oh,
all
no
kinds
way.
of crazy stuff. Yeah, but like, and that's where honestly most of the bug abusers rely is in RS3, even though it's like a dying game, because there's so many updates that were just uncalled for that weren't tested properly. That's where all the opportunities are in that field. So
And I guess with just so many devs, it's bound to happen where there's like a miscommunication with the code, I guess, because they got way more devs than OSRS has.
yeah, it always happens if you pump out, I feel like, too big of content too quickly. Like, the smaller content usually never has anything wrong with it, but like you put out a big update and you don't test it properly, that's when you're pretty much something's happened.
Yeah, that's fair. Do you have any desire of stepping into the RuneScape 3 game?
No, I despise RuneScape 3.
I think most people do.
I've tried. That's the only time I've ever quit RuneScape. Like, I've been playing RuneScape for 14, 15 years. And the only time I ever quit was when EOC came out. And I quit until Old School came out, which was probably about a year.
It's about a year, and then you hopped right into old school RuneScape.
Oh yeah, I started on release because I was always loving like the old combat system. So it was like, whatever year, as long as it's the old combat system, I'm gonna log in.
Crazy to say, but it's almost like what makes the game. Who knew if you change it to World of Warcraft style, people are just gonna be like,
Yeah, it's
not really.
It's like every other game if you change it to that same hotkey style system.
Yeah, people are playing RuneScape because it's not like every other MMO out there.
Exactly.
What I find is interesting with RuneScape is like there's the game as a whole, but then there's like sub communities within it. You got PvPers and PVMers, then you even have skillers, and then when you break down the PVMers, there's people like you who are doing these crazy achievements on like such a low combat account. There's people who are like going for 200 mil. It's a very special game, I think.
And honestly, I feel like my area is one of the least competitive because no one's like doing this kind of thing.
Do you hope that more people start doing it from watching your videos? Like, do you want people to get inspired to try to tackle it to give you more competition?
Yes and no. Yes, because it would be really cool to see in the community for people to do that kind of thing, but also no, because I don't want to go back and do a video on something I've already done the same way, but maybe just a little bit more RNG. Like, there'd be no content there if I went back into the same thing a little bit lower, but just hoped I didn't hit as much as I did to poison something, or hoped it didn't take me as many attempts because I just hit bad. Like, a lot of the lower level combat level achievements are based on RNG. So if someone beats me based on RNG, it's like, I don't want to go back and just compete on RNG because at that point it's just a grind and there's no difference in what I'm doing, kind of thing,
Yeah, I guess that would be tough. Last thing you want to do is like, oh, great, someone got the fire cape on a level 17.
Yeah. And it's just like, how am I going to beat that? Because you could match that, but I don't think you could beat that. It's just like, there's nothing past RNG at that point to get you past that level.
Yeah,
unless an
fair
update
enough.
happens, of course.
Yeah, I guess that's always the fear, isn't it?
Yeah.
It always does seem like where most games, they have a speed running community. It's like old school RuneScape has that, but it's not really speed running. It's low level completing community. I
still feel like, though, even then, the speedrunning community in RuneScape is even bigger than like low level community. Because they're gonna do, like, for example, the league soon, and that's kind of a speedrun mindset. And then you have like all the competitions that go down whenever something's released to speedrun, like Gauntlet competition. You had Fire Cape competition. There was like an Inferno first to get it done competition. I think they actually focus around speedrunning still more than obviously something like the lowest level. So
yeah, I couldn't.
That's why I'm saying there's like a lot less competition, because most people do, like, if they're PVM and they do go for the speedrun goal and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's true. And I guess competing for like a low level accomplishment, it's a lot more work than just going on your main and speedrunning some PVM content or whatever it is.
Right. To be fair, though, a lot of it, like speedrunning content is a lot of work. Like speed, especially like I've seen some of the speedrun Inferno streams, and I could never do that. Like when I'm under pressure like that, like time wise, I totally choke every single time. So that's another reason why I don't delve into that at all. It's just not my forte.
Yeah, I think it would be cool to see more speed running as well. I mean, more competition in RuneScape. I'm kind of a fan of. I'm not going to partake, but I'll definitely watch. It gives me more content to view. And I know they somebody had pitched for there's some big speed running competition. I can't remember what it's called, but they pitched
GDQ.
That might be it.
Yeah.
They pitched old school RuneScape for a few categories.
Tutorial Island, I think, is one of them.
Yeah, I know that's one. There's also there's a speed run for the camo top, I believe. But
Camo top?
Yeah, I think that's a bit of a meme, but
it has to be. Yeah.
Yeah, they've obtained camo top. Wow, there's a lot of people who've competed. It's like 5 minutes 19 seconds, but I think that
has to be a meme.
I know one of Settled's videos he talks about. It's people trying to find out how to force spawn randoms, but they have like free-to-play Champions Guild, Tutorial Island, free-to-play Black Knight's Fortress for some reason. Obtain mithril gloves.
Yeah, that makes more sense than camo top, because that's just like I've looked into every way to manipulate a random, and there's not very many. It's just kind of it's just gonna happen when it happens, type of thing.
You just get off Tutorial Island and wait 5 minutes, and then oh shit, lost it again.
At least you don't have to pay for membership for that. That's where all my in-game money goes, man. Bonds.
Oh yeah, I guess so, wouldn't it? Bonds and purple sweets.
Honestly, bonds more than purple sweets, even though, for sure.
You have to buy a lot of purple sweets for a lot of your videos. You have to like tick eat a lot of the damage using purple sweets. Do you think like you've not manipulated, but you've caused prices of the purple sweets to kind of go up?
At first, I didn't think so, because if you delve into the black market of RuneScape, there's a lot of people selling like 1 prey capes, and they'll use what I use for a video in a day. So I think, honestly speaking, maybe a little bit, because I do use quite a few, but my videos on purple sweets are sporadic, so if they do go up, they tend to go back down by the time I get to the next video I'm using purple sweets, kind of thing.
Because if you watch look at the trends for the past 6 months at least, they do go up and down a lot, but whenever they reach like a low point again, it's always higher than what it was.
Yeah, I've noticed that too, but I feel like that's the way it is with every item right now, because like RuneScape's GP is just inflated to hell. But also, back before like this year, like sweets would go up to 4 or 5K, and then they would drop back down to 2K like within the same year. And I've never seen them drop down below 3K in the last year. So I feel like it's kind of even going up higher than that overall. I don't know.
Sounds like something you could merch.
Yeah,
could have at least.
Much. I'll tell you what. Like after this next video I'm about to put out, there's gonna be a lot of people in the wilderness in one specific area, and I could probably merch some things that they're gonna be using, but I'm not gonna do that. It's not even. I don't want to be that person. So.
Honestly, I was going to be like, anything you can tease about, but I think you just teased enough right there.
Yeah.
Do you have a set schedule when you release videos, or is it kind of whenever they get done, they get released sort of thing?
It's pretty much whenever they get done, but almost always that's around a 2-week period. Exactly.
Yeah, I think that's even that seems like a pretty frequent schedule for the type of stuff you're doing. Or is this, are you putting in like full-time, like 8 hours a day working on these videos?
Probably more than that even, yeah.
Yeah. So you've kind of turned YouTube into like YouTube and streaming, right, into like a full-time career?
To be fair, I don't even stream, but I used to, and I just couldn't stream and keep up with YouTube properly. And I also figured out that if you stream the content you're doing, you post it to YouTube, you're gonna get like minus a third of the views because people already know what you're gonna do. They're just like, I'm not gonna click that.
Yeah, fair enough. It gets all spoiled.
Yeah, it's kind of like the surprise of it. They're like, what the hell is this title and what is this upload kind of thing, and they go and watch it from there.
Yeah, makes sense. I'm surprised you don't have a Patreon page.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really. This might change in the future because, to be fair, I'm sweating it pretty bad. But I don't like doing Patreon because it's like, I don't know. I feel like I'm not giving people anything like decent in return, and I'm gonna try and promote like the merch store more the next episode I have, and instead of that Patreon. But I mean, if it comes down to it, and I absolutely need to make a Patreon, I will. But I'm hoping that doesn't happen.
Yeah, I guess the fear is with like YouTube, you never know how the advertisements are going to play out. So people are always trying to find some other revenue just to stay afloat.
Right. The standard YouTube ads are just like absolutely garbage. So they don't pay hardly anything. I've heard other sites do a lot better, but of course, no one's going to watch your content on other websites. So
yeah, you know what I heard pays the best? Pornhub.
I wouldn't doubt it.
They have like the best advertisement system.
Yeah.
But I guess it's hard to break out the RuneScape videos.
Yeah,
there.
if only it wasn't called Pornhub, then
yeah,
it might be a little easier to get some views. But
yeah, maybe one day. So looking through some of your videos in the past, you mentioned your Twitch, and you mentioned a co-cast live podcast you used to do.
Yeah.
I say used to because I when I was looking around, I couldn't see any more like any super recent videos, but
there's still a YouTube channel out there with some old like cringy content on that. But so that's when I started trying to take content creation full time. I dropped everything for content creation back in probably November of last year, so almost a year ago.
Oh wow.
And me and Mauler OSRS, who's another creator, he's got like 8K subs I think only though right now. He's on YouTube. We were trying to do like a co-podcast type of thing, and we were trying to do it live video podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And I even went as far as to like rent out an office space downtown and like have live guests on the show kind of thing. Bought all this equipment, and it went pretty well actually. Like we met partnership requirements on Twitch within like 2 weeks, but we only had 2 weeks of time before he had to go back to like New Zealand where he's from and apply for a visa kind of thing. And that was at the time that the government shut down and like he couldn't get his application through. So it all kind of went to shit because I was by myself with like no real connections and just like, I don't know, couldn't really do much. And I was just waiting on him and he couldn't get his, visa application through. So eventually we just scrapped the whole thing. I like put the office space away, got out of the lease, and then went about like in February trying to just do solo stuff on YouTube. And obviously that's worked out a lot better for me. So
yeah, fair enough. I guess two different styles of content.
Totally, yeah. We even did real life streams where we would go out with like a phone camera, and like for example, one night we were at this bar and there was literally like a bar fight we had on camera, and it was pretty hilarious. But there's some weird stuff going on in that whole
nice.
Yeah,
it's a wild night. So, what are your plans going forward? Are you just like sticking to YouTube and seeing where it leads? Do you have like a bigger picture sort of thing?
Yeah, I want to do more like real life content. I kind of started that the other week, or actually like 2 or 3 weeks ago now. But I was gonna originally come out with another real life video before my next RuneScape video, but I think that's kind of switched up on me. I'm gonna do another RS video first, and then maybe from there delve into more real life content, and hope I can like maybe spread the channel out to like a further reaching audience than just RuneScape related videos, because honestly RuneScape is pretty limited, especially in the things I do, because it's like only, you know, pretty advanced players are going to even look at the content. So
Yeah, I guess that is pretty tricky, and you know, your videos can be over 30 minutes sometimes, which is a lot of work to do, and which is great because it's like it tells a story. And I know you add like humor in with it, and on top of, you know, talking about the crazy shit you're currently going through, but I guess in terms of appealing to like a bigger audience, I guess it does make you a little bit more limited.
I try to add the memes in there and the story, just, you know, to help the audience, so it's not just like a flat out like, yeah, I'm doing this today, like, and here's the raw footage kind of thing. But
yeah, I mean, I bet it makes it more fun for you as well.
Oh yeah, it does. Probably the best time is editing the video rather than actually doing all the stuff for it. But
do you still enjoy the whole editing process? It hasn't become like a slog?
yeah, I still do. I probably should pace myself more with it though. Like, I'm really bad at like wanting to get things done, and I'll sit there like 18 hours a day for 2 or 3 days straight just to edit a video. And then like obviously at the end of that I'm burnt out as hell because I'm like sick of editing. But then I go back on another grind, and then I get back to the editing portion 2 weeks later and it feels fine. But it's like halfway through the process of that crazy 18-hour a day grind, I'm just like kind of over it. But it's not
I'd say that's totally fair.
Yeah.
Because like it's so easy to get burnt out when you're just plugging away on stuff like that.
Yeah, I feel like I have to though, because I hate like not uploading for too long. Like it's this weird thing. It's like I feel like if I don't upload for so long, my next video is gonna do terrible on views, or like people are gonna forget my content kind of thing. So it's like I just try and get it done like as soon as possible. It's probably not realistic as in terms of I could probably put out a video once a month and still get the same views, but like my mindset is like, oh no, people are gonna watch my stuff, they're gonna forget about it if I don't go ahead and like grind it out as quickly as possible type of thing.
Yeah, I guess that's especially when you're fighting against like the YouTube algorithm, you don't really know what factors they include when it comes to like recommending your channel.
Yeah, I've heard it's like the more frequent you upload, the more they recommend your channel too, which kind of discourages that even more. So it's like freaking me out all the time.
which kind of sucks because it's hard to tell like how much of a factor consistency plays into it. Like I know with podcasting, when we first started out the first year, we took like a break for Christmas, and then we got we're hemorrhaging views after that, and I was like, oh my god, it was from 1 week. And it was Christmas too, and then I mean eventually it picks back up, but you never know if it's like you don't know exactly what's playing into that.
No, a big factor though is partnered over 10-minute videos. Like
you always hear that, right?
Yeah, and that's what got me started. Is I had a friend who had told me that like he was getting like 400,000 views a video on Nightmare Zone training guides.
Damn.
And this is spells the OSRS, by the way. And he was telling me like this was at the time when the algorithm was good, because you could literally just he was telling me you could just make something basic like a training guide and give it a good thumbnail and have over a 10-minute video on the RuneScape section. And he said like every time it would garnish him like over 100,000 views. And I tried the same. It would get me like 30 or 40,000 even when I was like at 5,000 subscribers. But nowadays it's like even adjusted even more, that I feel like people, because I have like Mahler, for example, who I was just talking about the Codecast Live thing, he's doing the same thing, and his video views have like really diminished as of late. And I think the algorithm has even switched yet again. So it's not just looking at 10 minutes. There's a whole bunch of other factors in there.
It's a weird system to be up against, especially when it's like you know you might not want to use a clickbait title, but you're like, god damn, I know it will work.
Yeah, exactly.
Going back to, I don't mean to be jumping around so much, but going back to you were talking about Group Ironman and how you're kind of looking forward to that, or maybe I don't know if you said you were looking forward to it, but it's something that you're paying attention to at the least.
I don't even know if I'm paying attention to it. Like, I haven't even looked at like the actual RuneFest release video on it or anything. But I heard the idea and I'm like, okay, yeah, what I've realized is that in all these series that garnish a lot of views and a lot of attention, they all have an end goal where it's like, is this guy gonna do it or is he gonna choke? Is this possible? Like the expectation is they think they doubt him. They think that the guy's like, look at Settled, for example. They doubt Settled's gonna be able to. They probably don't say it out loud, but in all reality, they probably doubt Settled's gonna be able to do TOB in Mortania only gear, for example.
Right.
Or they doubted Kemp Q was going to be able to do the 19 combat fire cape kind of thing. And I feel like that's what garnishes views nowadays. And I'm doing the opposite of that. Like I'm just like putting out a video and just doing it. There's like no expectation of, is he going to, be able to do this like 5 episodes down type. So I'm thinking to myself, what is this Iron Man series that has some end of it that is like, it has to have good expectation.
There's probably like, I don't want to say endless amount of content you could do with it, but you definitely want something to be like, if that's a direction you decide to go, you want there to be enough content there that it's kind of worth watching, if that makes sense.
Yeah, exactly. Like it'd have to have a good build up, and they would have to have an insane like ending, basically.
Yeah, which is, as you mentioned, a lot of these area restricted accounts, they have an end goal of some sorts, whether it's Theater of Blood or completing the Inferno, and you're doing something similar, but you're condensing it into one 30 or 40 minute video.
Right, and they don't really continue off another, so it's just like each episode has its own uniqueness to it. But I feel like if anything I would change, like in the course I've gone on YouTube, is I'd probably try. Sounds bad, but I would probably try and stretch videos out more and make an actual end goal of something insane in a series rather than go about a task every single episode. But I guess, to be fair, that kind of distinguishes me from other people, so I don't feel that bad about it. It's kind of like a unique thing to do.
Yeah, it's, I guess, a blessing and a curse, because, I mean, there's times where I'm watching a video, and then I'm playing RuneScape on the side, and I look away for 10 seconds, and I look back, and I go, oh, fuck, what happened? Like, you like miss a huge chunk of the story of what's going on. You're like, oh shit, let's rewind it.
Exactly.
So it's so Group Iron Man is something that you might get into when it comes out.
It depends whenever it's released. I feel like if it's released after August, I'll probably get into it. If before, I'll probably get into it still, but it won't be till later. I have some crazy plans for next year, so before that comes out.
You're constantly looking like bigger at, like when you put out a new achievement, are you like, okay, what's the next biggest thing?
Yeah. And honestly, if I can get not this video but the next video done, that's going to be pretty big. And then past that, I'll put in some filler videos. But besides the next video, I'm looking to do something really big, probably in I'd say May, June, July area.
Oh wow.
And then maybe in the entire series there, and hopefully it all plays out, and then maybe go into Group Iron Man or something if it comes out later in the year.
Yeah, that's fair. I guess it's hard to say.
Yeah.
Especially when they have leagues apparently just around the corner.
Yeah.
So it's I mean, I'm surprised they're bringing both of those out this year, but whatever.
Well, I think Leagues comes out next month, so. But
is that true? Oh, that's like I'm kind of looking forward to Leagues, but
I can't do it in Zaya. I don't know anything about Zaya. That's the first area, and I that's the one place I don't even know how to navigate Zaya still. Like new content to me, most of it's just like totally goes past my head. I don't even look into it.
And is it because like with your style of videos, like you don't know how it's been implemented, like coded into the game? You're not sure where the you're not sure how the engine works with the system, or is it just because it's new and you're not familiar with it?
It's just because it's new, probably, to be honest. Like there could probably be a lot of stuff I could look into and get done in Zaya, but I'd rather not, because I don't know. That whole continent to me just I hate it.
Yeah.
Whenever it was released, I did gangsters on it for the 25 combat fire cape with defense stats and not much HP, and I had to run all over that place, and I was like, this is too big, and there's too many things and not enough to do, and I just don't even want to bother with it kind of thing. And ever since then, I've just been put off by it. I don't know.
Yeah, it definitely was a common complaint, especially when it first came out and it was just a giant square.
Yeah, exactly. Now they've condensed it and everything, but it's still like, I don't even know if I want to delve into that giant, massive content.
Yeah. Well, Rendi, it was awesome that you took some time to talk with me today. It's been really cool to get like an insight of a world that I am completely unfamiliar with.
Yeah, man, it was great.
And do you want to? Where can they get in contact with you? Like, you want to plug your Twitter and your, I guess, YouTube. I mean, people know your YouTube, but
that's probably the main two things. YouTube.com/c/Rendimento, and then Twitter is just at Rendi_Mento, MENTO, and I think that's about it.
Cool stuff. And you said in some past videos, if you get 1 million subscribers, you're gonna change your name to Rendi.
Yeah,
that's something
I think people think that's like people have criticized me for that, to be honest, and it's kind of just a joke. But yeah, if it happens, hell yeah, I'll do it. Why not?
It's luckily your YouTube name. That's if you change your name to Rendi, that's all right. It's not a bad name. It's better than if it was like.
It's not terrible. That's not like 25 buttholes.
Yeah, exactly. So, but thanks, man, for coming on. This was awesome.
Yeah, it's great. Thank you for having me.
We'll have to do it again sometime if you're up for it.
Totally, yeah.
I hope you guys enjoyed the second edition of OSRS Rambles. I want to thank Rendi for taking some time to speak with me today. I had an absolute blast talking with him. I learned so much about his style of gameplay and his style of content. If you haven't had a chance to check his YouTube videos out, you're missing a lot of great content, and you can lose hours from binge watching his videos. Definitely check him out. You'll see some things about old school RuneScape you didn't even know existed. It's some crazy stuff. Again, thank you, Rendi, for setting some time aside to talk with me. And also, thank you to all of our Patreon supporters. If you want to support the show, you can do so at patreon.com/thewildernesspodcast. If you would like to be a guest on the show, or you know of someone who would make a great guest, you can reach out to me at thewildernessrs on Twitter. Our Facebook is facebook.com/thewildernesspodcast, and our email is thewildernesspodcast@gmail.com. Take care, guys, and I can't wait to do the next one.